Here we are again for Marvel Zombies issue number 2, and a lot of things start to come together in this one. If you haven't seen the review on issue number 1, check the description of this video for the link. We open up with the Fantastic Four arriving at a place Reed Richards calls the Spire, seemingly a secret laboratory of his. The team get out of the Fantastic Car and start saying their goodbyes, because Reed has calculated they have approximately 7 days to stop the zombie plague, or else it'll be too late and irreversible. He enters the lab and is greeted by his AI/robot assistant Herbie, and the two begin discussing the symptoms of the virus and trying to understand how to stop it. During his inner monologue, Reed explains that he had to take on this task alone because other geniuses like Tony Stark or Dr. Doom, who could have helped, would have just gotten in his way, and slowed him down. Almost to prove this, Reed receives a call from Tony, which if you followed along with the last issue, means this takes place before Tony got turned, and before he became Anubis's zombie host. Reed is on a tight schedule though, and tells Tony as much by asking him to hurry up. This call means he won't get to speak to his family tonight, so it better be important. Tony says he understands, and informs him that even the Mole Man and his moloids have been infected and wiped out by the virus, and because of a single moloid carrying it, illustrating how infectious it is. Reed listens on, but tells him not to call again, and is annoyed because he feels like Tony has wasted his time when he thought he understood how important this is. He goes back to working, showing a slow descent into madness, allowing parts of his body to lose their shape, until he finally comes up with an idea that the cosmic rays he was exposed to are somehow the answer, and that everyone should be exposed to them, because they helped make him resistant to most viral infections. He enlists Herbie to help him double down on work in excitement of his discovery. With 3 of the 7 days remaining, Tony calls again and asks Reed if he really is finding a cure, or if he has lost it. Reed answers by saying no, he hasn't found a cure, and the ones who have already been turned are gone for good, but he has discovered a vaccine to prevent any further infection. He tells Tony that he will need to download Herbie and get the information to start production of the vaccine, but he is going home to be with his family now. That's when Tony realizes his friend really has lost it, because when the Fantastic Four fought the Super Skrull, it was infected with the virus, and the entire Fantastic Four were turned in the process. He breaks the news to Reed, who already knows this deep down but is of course suppressing it, and then we find out Reed has imagined the whole beginning of the chapter with saying goodbye to his family before he went into the Spire. At the end of the chapter, he becomes a zombie himself. Moving on to Beta Ray Bill. Bill is inside of his spaceship Skuttlebut, thinking about how 4 centuries has passed since the initial zombie outbreak, and it hasn't let up, informing us that the outbreak is not only on Earth, but now throughout the whole universe. He recounts when he first found out about the virus after receiving a distress call from Thor on Earth. Bill had arrived on Earth, and the first thing he saw was Sif laying on the ground amongst numerous bloodied bodies. He raced over to her and held her in his arms, and she told him that his face is the one she would want to see before going to Valhalla. Thor then shows up along with some of the other Avengers, Sam Wilson, Captain America, Scarlet Witch, Wolverine, and Spider-Woman, and they attack Bill. By this point, Sif has turned, and gets the fever, and bites Bill on the neck, but because of his Korbonite physiology, he explains he couldn't get the virus. Bill then realizes he can't beat Thor and the others, so he rescues some kids and then returns to his ship and leaves. Now to X-Force. The mutants have just finished bringing the zombie Domino down, and appear to be keeping their brethren zombie heads on a shelf, including Magma, Domino, and Beast, maybe as a dark and sentimental thing, or in hopes they can somehow save them one day. They are speaking of how they all made it out unscathed, but neglect to see Warpath has been bitten, meaning he will inevitably be next to take his place on the shelf. He shows the others what's happened to him, but he's not sad. Instead, he is accepting of his fate, and says they all knew it would end up for each of them like this at some point. He says that they have avoided taking down some of the other zombie X-Men because they knew it would be dangerous and they would lose people, but now that he has been bitten, He wants the chance to take down zombie Cable before he goes out. After some convincing, Cannonball says that he's right, and that they've put it off for too long already. Spiral, Siren, and Boom Boom agree. The crew travels to where they know Cable is and try to reason with him, although it's a lost cause, because his mind is fried from the virus. Cable says the hunger won't let him be defeated, and so he and Warpath battle. Feral tries to help, but she ends up getting eaten by Cable. Ruins and devastation are all around them from Cable's destruction. The team finally sends Magma's head through a portal to be the match that burns it all down. Warpath ends up killing Cable, but not before turning into a full zombie himself, and that's the end of issue 2 Marvel Zombies. If you liked this video, like and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on what happens in issue 3. Thanks for watching.